Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. Out for a stunning sunrise on the boat. Yeah, it's yeah, it's a bit bitter this morning, but I tell you what, I wouldn't have missed that for anything. I'm planning on doing a little bit of wrecking. I haven't been wrecking in about 8 weeks. The pollock have just finished spawning, so we're going to go and see if we can't find some. The freezer is empty, so I'm keen on taking some fish today. And speaking of fish, this is the sounder below us. There is bait fish absolutely everywhere. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll find out. Let's go. Give that a try. I've not quite got to where I want to go. I've just come past a wreck and I thought I'll try it out. I use days like this to try and explore new wrecks. I take a bit of a zigzag to go where I'm going, just to explore them. We'll give this a couple of drifts and see what it's like. Yeah. There's something down there like mackerel or something, because it's just hit it on the way down. Yeah, like I say, I use days like today to explore new areas. I've got my eye on some wrecks that are a long way off. I'll try a few out on the way there, just prospect them for the future. Oh, there's a fish. Feels more like a pouting though. As suspected, a fat pouting. Not what I'm after, but yeah, unfortunately there's going to be a lot of them down there. I'll swing back round and I'll have another drift of that. I'll give it a couple of drifts and I'll move somewhere else. Right. The lures that I'm going to be using today are going to be some mixture of soft plastics and, if the tide's right, some jigs. And I'm fishing these on, what's that? A bit best part of 10 feet of 20-pound fluoro. And then I'll show you the rig when I bring it up, otherwise I'm going to miss this drift. But yeah, the rod is a solid carbon 12 to 20, and this is a Fathom 15 lever drag. And I think I've got 40-pound braid on, and I think I've got maybe a 40 or 50-pound mono leader. This is like my light fun wrecking setup. This is my shadding setup. And I've got some fish down there. There's one. Oh, missed it. Yeah. I think we've got a lot of pout down there. Oh, that was a proper fish. That was a proper thump, that one there. That one wasn't a pouting. That was a pollock. All I'm doing here is dropping to the bottom and then slowly winding back up. That's making that soft plastic lure swim up and down above where the wreck is. First couple of drifts of the day, I'll vary the speed, fast, slow, 10 winds, 20 winds. I'll even vary the lure. This is quite a big lure. I might put an even smaller one on. I might go for one last drift over it and I'll put a small lure on, just to mix it up a bit. Let's try a different drift on a different part of the wreck. If the wreck is stretched out over like 50 metres, I don't stay just on one, unless I nail fish on that drift. I'll explore different areas of the wreck because the fish might be held up on the north side or the south side or the middle or the up side or the down side. So yeah, we'll explore around a little bit. Maybe a little bit of patch at the back of this wreck. Oh, missed it. Ah! Oh, there's a fish. Found one. All I'm doing now is just very steady and very gradual winding up to the boat. By taking your time, so like I'm not horsing it to the boat, I'm just very slowly, very gradually bringing it up to the boat, and when it wants to fight back, letting it take a line. Oh, and it's gone. It's off. Yeah. The reason why you've got to take it really gently is because you don't know where it's hooked. Could be very lightly hooked. That's the only place that you can't dictate, is where it hooks it. And that one there, I had a feeling it was hooked right in the edge of the mouth, because it was, as it was shaking its head like that, I could feel it, kind of the lure moving. You just need to hold the rod gently and then wind up gradually. And if you lose one or two, you lose one or two. Also, the benefit of that, of taking it easy when you're winding them up, is that if you want to put them back, you can. Nope, found you. No, just a little pollock. Back you go. Are you going back? Good lad. I'm hoping you saw it come around the side of the boat. That was a pollock of about maybe £4. I'm quite happy to let that go because I'm after one slightly bigger, and also because I took my time bringing it up, go straight back. Sorry. Yeah, as I was trying to say, by taking your time bringing them up slowly, it gives the fish a chance to fight back and go back, and it equalises the pressure inside of it. So when you get it to the surface, its eyes aren't bulging out, it's not covered in blisters, it's not got barotrauma. So if you want to return them, you can, like that one. Just pop the hook out the side of the boat and he was straight back by himself. I'm going to swing back round and I'm going to have one more go, because I did lose a good pollock on that drift. And then we'll get well going. Oh, there's a fish. There's a lot of little ones on this wreck, it seems. Lots and lots of little fish down there. Try another one. Same rig as before, same rig, same lure, same everything, just different wreck. That might work. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Jumped out my skin. The flipping dolphin. Oh, there's a fish. Part of the wreck we are. Oh. Yeah, just as before, just a slow, steady wind. It does feel like a smaller fish. Like I said, I'd expect it to be about 3 or 4 pound. So I'm not too fussed if it comes off, because the ones I'm after are more like 6s and 7s today. There you go. Bonny little fish. No blisters. His eyes are still fine. Of course, I took my time bringing him up, and he can go back. See you later on, pal. Yeah, like I said, I felt when it was coming up it was a little small one, so I just let it go. Go around again and try and find a bigger one. There's quite a lot been in the news and been in angling media lately about pollock over the last probably year, because commercial fishing has really put a massive dent in the stocks. Recreationals have taken it upon themselves to impose some voluntary restrictions, being like a bag limit of 5 and a minimum landing size of 50 centimetres, which I think is proactive. It's good. Now, I wouldn't personally take a fish that was below 50 centimetres anyway. Minimum landing size is 30. Now, it's been proven these fish aren't sexually mature for breeding until the time they reach 50 centimetres. It just makes perfect sense to me. And yeah, selective harvesting. You don't need to keep and kill everything. So like as I do here, I take only what I need, and the rest of it, by bringing it in slowly and by treating it respectfully, 9 times out of 10 you can return them. Even when you're fishing in deep water. I am fishing in 82 metres of water here. And if a fish does blow, I'll teach you how to deal with that as well. Try a different wreck. This one's real slow. So I mean, throughout the day I might try 10 different wrecks. I might cover 100 mile. It's the most expensive free fish you'll ever get. Very fast growing pollock. Like they're put on a lot of weight in a short period of time, and they reach maturity quite young. I mean, most pollock live to be about, like, max of about 10 years. So like the real big ones, they get up to being about 20 pounds. Most of the ones that we see in shore will be like 3-4 year old. Which way was drifting? It's not a bad drift. Oh, there's a fish. Where were we on the wreck? Just on the back side, just on the downside side of the wreck. That makes perfect sense. So the fish was sat behind the wreck on the downside side, out of the current. Just understanding like a little bit of watercraft and fish behaviour. "82 metres of water, it's a long way." Slightly better. you go. And you notice, because I took my time bringing him up, there's no swim bladder showing, there's no blisters down his sides, his eyes are still in. If I wanted to, after taking this lure out here, this guy could get returned and he would be perfectly happy to just swim straight back by himself. As it is, this is a nice size to take. 64 centimetres. Now, I advocate the dispatching and bleeding of fish. I'm not going to show that on the camera because I know some folks don't like seeing it, but I use the ikejime method. I've got a live bait tank there, I'll fill it full of water, I'll revive the fish and dispatch it and bleed it. We'll go around and have that drift again. But yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I was after. It's important to check your trace each time, because although pollock do only have small teeth, the line could come in contact with the wreck, all sorts of different things. And you know fine well that when you get the biggest fish that you've ever caught, it'll be when the line breaks. It's one of them. So yeah, you'll see me run my fingers down the fluoro. I'll show you when it comes back up another reason why I do that. These are all generally the lessons that you learn by making a mistake. Drifting at just over a knot. Not a bad speed. Oh, I'm taking a different drift this time. We're about 15 metres away from where we were last time. Another reason why you'll see me running my hands over the fluoro is, I hope you can see there that this end up here has become a little bit kinked. With fluoro, the beauty of it being that you can just get hold of it, run your fingers down it like that, and the kinks all drop out. Can't do that with mono. Once mono's kinked, mono's kinked. With fluoro, you can kind of reset the memory of it. Give this wreck one more drift and then we'll try another one. Because that's another important thing about, about being more like a conscientious, sustainable fisherman is, don't hammer just one wreck. The same as like when you're foraging from the shore, you don't take every berry from one bush, you take a few from all of them. Next wreck. That picked you up on the drop then. Yeah, I was just about to say, I said I've missed 2 bites on this drift already. And the wreck, it's a different wreck. We're now in, ooh, easy tiger. Oh, I wanted to go back then, give him a little bit of slack. We're over the top of the wreck and we're in 79 metres of water. The wreck's like 5 or 6 metres high. So we're in about 85 metres of water. Got a scrapper in our hands. I was about to say, if we keep missing any more bites, I'm going to switch down to a smaller lure, because they're obviously being finicky. Slopping about side to side like this is really frustrating when you try to bring a fish up. Because if you go up on a wave and like the wave's 6 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, you're bringing up the fish an extra 6 foot real quick, and then you're dropping into a trough at the back of it. Yeah. These waves around here are between 2 and 3 feet, but they're about every half a second. Tell you what, considering how big this isn't a big pollock, but I tell you what, he's scrapped hard. Easy does it. Yeah. Right, this guy is a perfect size to take. Yeah, there's the lure in his mouth. He had walloped that was right in there. Perfect. This is a stunning sized eating fish. And unfortunately my measure's blown off on the back of the boat when I was I've only just realised when I've stopped that my measure's blown off. Yeah. So in fact actually this guy is about 10 centimetres longer than the last one. So yeah, I put him up there nearly 70. Perfect eating size table fish. And you can see they've spawned out. They're good. He's got a bit of feed in him, but there's loads of feed around. He's not full of spawn, they've all spawned out. It's a perfect time to take them. Yeah, picking these fish up when they're in the middle of spawning, it just seems it seems completely against common sense to me. It would be like having all your money in a savings account and then drawing it all out before you get the interest on it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, that's perfect sized eating fish. I will, ideally today, I'm looking at taking 4 fish. So I'll go around and have a couple more drifts, and if I keep catching good fish, all I'll do is I'll just take more time bringing them up and release them. Have a little bit of fun while I'm doing it. Talk you through the rig again. That was once I've untangled it, onto my mono leader. At the bottom of the mono leader I just have a strong swivel. Onto that swivel I have a 3-way, slopping about all over the place. Yeah, look, there's just a 3-way swivel. Onto that quick link with a 10-ounce lead. Then I have about 10 feet of flow row, and on the end of my flow row I have one of my fish locker prototype lures. Yep, still working. This is actually this is the 3rd session that I've used this. It's a little bit chaffed up around here where it sees its teeth, but it's still perfectly fishing. So we'll go around and we'll try that again. Got a dolphin escort again. Three dolphins. For anyone who's curious, I've never had a dolphin take a lure or take a fish off me. Sharks do it all the time, seals are an absolute flipping menace. But dolphins, no. I think they're too smart and they see the hook. Missed 2 more bites on this drift as well. I was going to change this to a smaller lure, and then when I caught the last fish on it I thought nah, I'll keep going. I should have changed it. I've missed 2 more bites here. I think the fish have just been real finicky and they'll take a smaller lure. The issue with using a smaller lure is you'll catch more pouting. You don't really want to catch pouting. It's nice when the sun's out, but I tell you what, it's still cold. There's the fish. Oh. Ooh, don't go in that wreck. Trying to keep it up out of the wreckage is a problem now. Like I said, the hope when you're using one of these little lures is it just wallops it, it just goes straight down its gullet. Because all of this heavy fighting what it's doing now, every single time that it pulls and it bangs and it shakes its head, wherever that hook is, the hook hold might get a little bit weaker and the hole will get a little bit bigger. So if you take any slack off it, like going up and down on one of these waves, the fish can come off. There you go. Whoa. That was a stunning fish. There's the hook. Where's the lure straight in his... Well, if I can show you there. Whoa. trying to swing around. There, look, there's the hook, and there's the hole, there's the lure, right in the top of the mouth. Yeah. Now this fish, because I took my time bringing it all the way up, see no blisters, no marks, eyes are still perfectly in his head, in 82 metres of water, and there you go. Let's see. So anybody that wants to say, oh yeah, well what if you wreck fishing in deep water, by the time the fish reaches the surface it's dead? It's not if you take your time. If you do it properly, if you use a little bit of skill and you bring it up slowly. I mean, you saw that how slowly I brought it up. In fact, I've done everything from start to finish, so I'll be able to put in here how long it took for me to bring that fish to the boat, but it's probably going to be like 2 minutes. There's the fish. Ah. The trick is to gently keep a bend in the rod and gradually bring the fish to the boat. It's not a race. Take your time, and you don't have to just wind it. You don't have to bring it straight to the boat straight away. I mean, yeah, if you're fishing just for the table and you only want to catch two or three fish, just get them to the boat, get them in, get them dispatched, go home. I want to have a day's fun, and I want to take some fish for the table. So a fish like that there, I could have quite happily taken it because it was about 60 centimetres. But I have got another, what, 5 hours of fishing that I want to get out of me. So all I did was I just return that fish, let it swim back, and I can go around and have another drift and potentially pick a different one. This is one of the prototypes for the Fish Locker Skerries Pro. Maybe get one more fish off this wreck and then we'll go to a different one. There's a fish. Doesn't feel like a monster. Feels like a nice fish. You see how I'm gradually, if you know you've got the hook set into them properly, like if you're jigging and you've got assist hooks, you can stop every now and again. And all you need to do is you just need to make sure you maintain a bend in the rod, because that keeps the hook in its mouth. Just slowly bring it up. Give it a chance to expel any air that's coming up, because barotrauma, the bends, or fish blowing, it's the fish's inability to equalise pressure on the way up. The pressure down on the seabed to the pressure on the surface is a lot greater. So a little bit of air down there in its swim bladder, it might only be like a cubic centimetre. By the time it gets to the surface, it'll be like 30 cubic centimetres. If you don't get a chance to expel it all, this is when its eyes pop out and it's when its guts pop out. So if you can take your time like I'm doing now, it allows it the chance to vent this air on the way up. So by the time it gets to the surface, it's still perfectly healthy. Occasionally, it happens. No matter how slow you bring them up, sometimes they just blow. Ling are bad for it, pollock are bad for it, wrasse are bad for it. When that happens, you can use something called a descender. Now I've got one on the boat at all times. There's a couple of different types. In fact, I've done a video on how to use them. I'll tag it in here. But yeah, if a fish is not massively blown, not full of blisters, not on death's door, but just can't get back down to depth, you can use a descender to help it. And it's known to increase survivability rate by like 75%. There we go. Another lovely fish. Okay, come down. There, look. Ah, the lure has literally just popped out. There we go. It was just in the top of it. Well, to show you, it was just there, look. That little hole, you know what I was talking about? Like every single time that the fish shakes its head or bangs around, this one here, I'm going to let this one go. It's a little bit small, and as you can see, there's no blisters, swim bladder's not out, eyes are still fine. I'm going to let him go. But I'm going to put him in the live bait tank and I'm going to use a descender to show you how it works. Right, that fish is, That fish is in a live bait tank, so it's okay, it's relaxing. I've got a couple of seconds where I can sort myself out. Get my rod out of the way. Right, I have at all times ready to go. This is a descender. This is a descending tool. I've got a 12-ounce lead on there, and all I'll do is I'll just take my spare rod, attach this onto there via the swivel without sticking it in my hand. This will carry my fish back down to the seabed. This pollock has been in a live bait tank. It's still full and fresh and happy and alive. All you do is you put that spike through the side of his lip like that and lower him over the side like that, and the weight carries it down to the seabed. That fish should have probably swum back fine by itself. It was just tired. The hardest part is the first 10 or 15 metres, because that's where the most of the buoyancy affects it. Once it starts getting down past like 20 metres, it's easier and easier and easier to get back down to depth. So this fish now has had the lead help it get down there. And all I do is when it reaches, I'll let it go all the way. Once that fish is back down to depth, all the pressurisation will have all equalised back into as it was before. That'll do. And then all I need to do is put my jog up, give it a couple of... Yeah, the pollock will come off, and I'll just wind my descender back up and go around for another drift. So if you do bring a fish up and it is a little bit blown, just for whatever reason, it can't be helped sometimes, you can still return them with the use of one of these descenders. They don't cost more than about a tenner, and I've been using them for well over a decade for everything from like bass to wrasse to John Dory's to... Yeah. There you go. What time is this? No, I'm not. I'm going to go to a different wreck. Go to a different wreck and see if I can't find some bigger ones. Yeah, this is the wreck that I wanted to try. We're now a decent stretch offshore. This is the wreck that I've had my eye on for a while. I do enjoy kind of like trying to pioneer out new marks and new areas, just because I enjoy the challenge of it. But it's good to know, it's good to like check out. You might check 10 wrecks, 5 of them might be shockingly poor. Just some of them don't sustain fish. Some of them just don't have either like the size, or you don't know, they might have something harmful. They might have something like a barrel of oil in there that's leaking or something. All of these old wrecks, they all fish slightly differently. Like some will fish really well on a flood tide, some will fish really well on an ebb tide. It's 1.9 knots drift now. Unfortunately, this wreck doesn't seem to be a very good one. Doesn't seem to hold an awful lot of fish. This is one of the things about, on the charts, it doesn't always tell you like how big they are. It tells you like their footprint, but it doesn't tell you if they're 10 metres high or 1 metre high. This one doesn't actually have an awful lot of structure on it. So I've come best part of like 27 mile, and the wreck that I wanted to go to isn't actually a very good one. Fortunately though, there are a few more wrecks around this area that I'll try out in a minute. I'll give this one more drift on the opposite side of it, see if we can't pull out a nice fish, and if not, I will chalk this one up to try and hit an anchor for a ling or a conger. Pout. That's what I mean about suffering from barotrauma. See how its eyes are bulging? Yeah, this guy's not having a very good day. Keen to see what the wreck was like and if there was any fish down there, I sent down the Westin camera. Surface clarity is good, but surprisingly there is a lot of plankton mid-water. This is early. First drop was above the wreck, clean seabed, and interestingly, lots of holes in the ground. Could be crabs, could be fish. More investigations needed, but interesting. These new lures really do swim well. I've designed a good one there. And touchdown, we have wreckage. But sadly there's an old fishing net stuck on it, and my lure is now snagged amongst it. You can see from the video not much wreckage structure, and only wrasse and pouting swimming around. Not a bad picture given it's 80 metres deep. This is why I run a lighter hook length than leader. A good pull and the camera has a lucky escape. Glad I changed wrecks. Doesn't feel like a monster, but it's a fish. After this wreck I'm going to head to some more further inshore. This easterly is picking up as the day goes on. One of the reasons why I had a really early start this morning. And it's horrible conditions to steam home in. So I'm going to start making my way back. The last wreck was my furthest point from home. I'm now going to make my way back in a different route to try and check out some more wrecks. There's a little one. There you go once again. Of course I took my time bringing it up. Its eyes are still fully intact. No blisters anywhere. This fish, once unhooked. Oh, look at that hole there. Look. He can go straight back. Good man. See him shoot. I don't know if you can see it swimming back there. Yeah. All the way back by himself. Let's go around and try that again. There's a fish. Feels like a pouting. Consider this the last drift of this wreck. We'll go around and find another. Pouting! Oh, I'll tell you what, 2.7 knots. Nope, time to go. The wreck that I'm on is 50 metres long and I was over it for about 3 seconds. I'll tell you what, that one ran. We are in 3.2 knots of tide and I've managed to find a pollock, and I tell you what, they don't have to use the tide. Can't even tell how big it is, just because there's that much tide. A 2-pound fish could feel like an 8-pound fish. That's another nice sized fish. This slop and this this wind is starting to annoy me a little bit. Yeah. There's a nice sized fish. There's the lure right in the corner of his mouth. Yeah, I am happy with that. I am going to take this one. Even though it hasn't blown. See, there's no blisters, there's no swim bladder or anything like that. It hasn't blown at all. I could return this if I wanted to. I'm going to keep it because that's a perfect size for a nice set of fillets. Yeah, there was a hell of a lot of tide on that. I'm going to go around and see if I can't run that drift again, see if I can't pluck one more pollock out. Because I said I'd wanted 4 and I've kept 3. See if I can manage to pluck out that last one, I'll be buzzing. Yeah, that was a difficult one. I splashed the lens, of course he has. That's a nice fish, that. Another perfect size eating fish. There we go, there's your fish. And here is your lure. Fantastic. I'd like to say perfect eating size fish. That one will be between 60 and 70 centimetres, and the lure's just literally popped out right from in there, look. I'm made up. I've had a good day's sport. I've managed to return some fish. If I wanted to return this one, look, there is no swim bladder showing in there, no blisters on his skin, his eyes are still in. This was in 76 metres of water. Down here there is no worse conditions than an easterly and wind against tide, and we have an easterly and the tide has just turned, which is why it's starting to pick up a lot. I am happy to be heading back now. Yeah, I'm going to dispatch that fish and then I'll gut them on the way back. I'm going back home now. To quickly run through the gear again, like I say, it's a solid. This is a Penn Regiment 3 solid carbon and it's a 12 to 20, and this is a Penn Fathom 15 lever drag. I've got a braided main line and I've got a mono leader, and then on the business end what we're looking at is it's a 3-way swivel with a 10-ounce lead, 5, well, about 9 feet now because I've cut it down, 9 feet of fluoro with a soft plastic lure. And the lures that I've used today are the Skerry's Pro fish locker lures. This is one of those things where, like, people who just watch the videos and they don't understand what goes into it. You're constantly having to think about the wind noise, the lighting, the camera, and the fish you get. It's a lot to think about, and these conditions are the worst. Actually no, worst would be this and rain. Let's get out of here. I'm back inshore now. It's a little calmer in here, but it's still blowing. I'm tidying down. I'm just going to finish sorting these pollock. As you can see them in there, I bled and gutted them earlier, so there is nothing on the insides. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to finish filleting them in here. Reason why I'm doing it in here rather than out there is just because I was likely to cut my hand off out there. It was absolutely sloppy as a washing machine. Yeah, I'll finish filleting these off, we'll get back ashore and we'll probably drop some off at my father-in-law Jim's house on the way home. There we are, I am finished. That's all the pollock. You can see there, by bleeding it, you do end up with a far better quality meat by the end of it. That's all immaculate. Filleted and V-boned. We'll take some of that round to Grandad Jim's now before we head home. It looks like there's a lot of rain coming as well, so I've timed that really well. I brought that fish out to Jim's and we've split it. He's taken 4 of those fillets. That'll do you for a couple of weeks, will it?
Couple of weeks easily, yes.
A couple of weeks worth of fish there for Jim, and we've got some ourselves to take home.
And my skins.
I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.
Bye bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go.